Hey, everybody, welcome back to LettermenRow.com. I am Jeremy Birmingham, and this is Bermanology. Today, we are talking to 2023 near five-star prospect Joenel Aguero, a safety from Massachusetts who went down to the IMG Academy, is now back in Massachusetts, and a player that Ohio State is very, very high on. He has been to Ohio State and is interested in the Buckeyes. So I wanted to bring him on the show and give fans a chance to know a little bit more about Joenel Aguero. Let's get to it. Joenel Aguero is here with us. Joenel is, you're a player that we haven't talked a lot about on Lettermen Row in the last year or so. You were down at the IMG Academy, and I just want to start there because you're back now in Massachusetts, back in the high school that you started with. How hard was it to make that decision to move back home, and what ultimately led to it?
It was pretty hard making the decision, moving back home, because I was going to leave many things at IMG that I learned, coaches to develop me. But something that led me to come back was, my family. I kind of wanted to play, in front of my family for every game before I went off to college because it was kind of hard for them to make it every game. So I kind of wanted to, play in front of my little brother and my mom and dad every weekend.
I think that's one of the things that everyone looks at the IMG thing, and it's obviously a very great opportunity. You go down there, you play against the best of the best, but it's almost like going to college 3 years early. And,
yes, sir.
You have to weigh those pros and cons about what you give up when you do that. And I understand there's the development piece, but at some point, high school coaches are high school coaches, right? I mean, you still got to move it to the next level until you can get there. You're back home now in Massachusetts at St. John's Prep. What are you excited about being home as far as what you get to do heading into your senior year?
I'm really excited just being home, being around, the people I grew up, old players I played with, and, just being around my family. And, I'm ready to win the state championship next year at my old school.
Joenel, I'm going to ask you this question, and it's going to seem like just a bombshell question, okay? But it's not.
Yeah.
There's this belief that as soon as kids are down at the IMG Academy, that all of a sudden you're only considering SEC schools or Florida schools, and that Ohio State and teams like that become almost obsolete. What the heck happens down there that makes a kid from Massachusetts go to the IMG and then everyone says, well, he's definitely going to Georgia? So, I mean, that seems to be the talk about your commitment, right?
Yeah.
How do you absorb that? I mean, what is it about being down there? Do you just forget that there's football in the North when you go there, or what happens?
I mean, I honestly don't really think that's it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, there are probably a lot of SEC commits going from IMG, but my personal recruitment, Ohio State's definitely one of my top schools I'm considering. So me going to IMG hasn't really affected that for me. So
do you think that it's just a matter of the fact that you're down in the South, so you guys as groups go make visits at big group visits at schools, and you don't do that with teams where you have to fly to go see?
I mean, yeah, we did a couple visits. We went to Georgia one time. It was me, Kamari, Dalen, and Jahan. So I mean, we went to Georgia, so I could see why some people may think that, but nah, I just think for me, it doesn't really change anything.
Well, let's talk about the Buckeyes since you brought them up.
Yes,
Jonel, Matt Barnes is the leading recruiter for you at Ohio State. He has been since before you went down to IMG. What is it about him that you find yourself drawn to, and what makes that relationship with Matt Barnes unique?
Well, he was on me since, freshman year. When they first gave me my offer, he was the guy I spoke to, and we kind of built this relationship where it was kind of just more than a football relationship. It was he was just trying to get to know me more as a person. We kind of didn't really talk too much about football. It was more of life, and it's pretty much my relationship.
For you, with a guy like Matt, I mean, when you were being recruited by him initially, he was in his first year at Ohio State. A lot of people didn't know much about him. Now he's in this role where he's kind of the defensive coordinator. I mean, have you seen that change him at all, or is he still the same football nerd that he was when you were talking to him 2 years ago?
I mean, he's still the same, football nerd. I feel like, you know, he. I mean, he's a great coach, and he hasn't changed for me. He recruits me the same.
And the other part of your recruitment is Ryan Day, and obviously Ryan's a guy from the Northeast like yourself. Does that matter that you guys sort of have that geographical connection?
I mean, yeah, it matters for sure. He lives probably like 2 hours away from me, so we kind of have that Northeast connection, and we kind of know how it is up here, how people underrate our football. They don't really expect us to be as good as we are.
You have a lot of offers. You have a lot of opportunities. You're a top 30 ranked player in the country, according to pretty much everyone. What is it that Joenel Aguero is looking for in college? What is it that is most important for you as you start to narrow things down?
I'm probably looking at where I feel most comfortable at. I like early playing time. I know no matter wherever I go, I'm gonna get my reps in, and that's just 100%. I know that because I'm gonna work for it, and probably just a good relationship with the coaches and coaches who are gonna be there for the time I'm in college. I don't want like a new whole coaching staff coming in. I want to make sure if that's like the guys that recruited me, like I'm with them throughout that whole process of being in college.
I mean, how do you guys as recruits deal with that? I mean, we're talking here at Sunday. We're 4 hours away or 4 hours removed from Dan Mullen at Florida being announced that he was going to be moving on. Other schools that have been recruiting you, their coaches have been changing. Is it easy to tell which coaches are going to be there? I mean, how do you know who's going to be there?
Yeah, that's true. I really don't know, but based off of in terms of how many games they're winning and like how their season goes, I'm pretty sure like that coaching staff is still going to be there. And for the schools that like lose their coaches and stuff, I feel like it's kind of like harder for like me to like kind of lean towards that school because I don't know who's going to be the new staff coming in and if they're going to recruit me as hard as they was.
You are listed as a safety on all your recruiting profiles. Football's changing. The guys like yourself in that 6'1", 6'2", 205 range are sort of being used in this hybrid role. Ohio State calls it the bullet.
Yeah.
Are you being recruited as a true on safety by people or like a two deep safety, or how do you see your role in a college defense?
Every school recruiting me right now, they kind of want me being all over the defense, like they want me playing deep, they want me coming like into coverage, coming in the box. Like I spoke with Matt Barnes and he kind of drew up some couple plays where, he would like imagine me and put me in and see like where I best fit at. So he kind of had me in the box a lot, because I could come down and make some big hits and he had me playing deep. So I mean, they just recruited me all around because I could do, I'm really athletic and with my speed, I could just be everywhere on the field.
So do they tell you like when they say, hey, Jonel, watch our defense, this is the role we see? Is it Ronnie Hickman playing there? Is it, Lathan Ransom? Where do you identify when you're watching? Assuming you watch it, I don't know. Maybe you spend your Saturdays going to the movies or something. I don't know.
No, I just, I look at me personally, I'm a DB, so I look at all the defensive positions. I look at the corners, I look at the safeties, like the bullet position. So I kind of just look at everything because you never know. So I just look at every position on defense.
You did visit Ohio State in the summer. That was your first time there. That's when you were down at IMG. Now you're back home in Massachusetts. What's the plan? I mean, for you moving forward as far as the next part of your recruitment, official visits, winter visits, decision timeline? What do you see unfolding?
Oh, you can repeat that question again? You kind of broke up a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. What do you see next? The last time you visited Ohio State, it was in the summer. You were down at IMG at that point. Now you're back home. I assume you're going to try to take a few more visits throughout this end of the season. But when do you see yourself getting back to Ohio State? When do you want to make a decision in your recruitment?
I see myself getting back to Ohio State within probably the next couple of weeks or like a month or so. I kind of want to go back up there and, just I know I've seen everything. I just want to go up there, chill with the coaches, just talk, hang out with some of the players and see what, Ohio State, the atmosphere is about up there.
What was the biggest takeaway from this summertime visit to Ohio State? What did you learn about the Buckeyes that maybe you didn't know?
My biggest takeaway was probably, how much they develop a player and, how much they put in, how all the time they put in to the players and, how they use all the, especially defensive backs, they use them a lot. And, the school part also, I know they have a great schooling program. So, and they show me all like, the academic part. That's also something I look for. So I feel like that's something that took away from me. That was definitely a good takeaway.
One of the early commitments in the Buckeyes class of 2023 is Sonny Styles, who is like yourself, a player that could be a safety, could play multiple spots in the defense. You and Sonny have gotten pretty close from what I understand. What is it, what type of recruiter is Sonny Styles?
Every post I make, if I make a post about Georgia or different school, he gonna be like, no, Ohio State. This the place to be. We definitely had some conversations though, and we definitely talking though. So me and him.
How important is that for you to be knowing the guys that are at the schools you're considering? Because you've been able to make visits, you've seen all these kids, you've been on the camp circuits and all these tours. Is it important to be around guys who think like you and who act like you? And there are some schools you've probably visited where the players may be completely different personality wise. How much does that matter?
I mean, it definitely matters, because those are the people I'm gonna be, with probably like the next 3 to 4 years. So it definitely matters because the people you're around is gonna probably make you, grind harder and get better as a player and as a person. So I definitely take that into consideration a lot.
Do you intend to enroll early in college?
Nah, I'm not going to now.
Because of your high school
new high school 111? Yeah, switch, yeah.
Again, though, that speaks to what we were talking about at the beginning. There are pros and cons to these decisions that you guys have to make. And you don't need to hurry into college when you have the rest of your life. You get one more year to be at home with your family and go to prom with your girlfriend and that kind of stuff. It's actually pretty important. Those are good memories you make, and you certainly want to keep going with those. Last thing, Joenel, as we dive in, Ohio State, Georgia, those are two we hear a lot about. Who else is really in the mix for you? And what do you need to see on these next round of visits to feel better about making an eventual decision?
Right now, I feel like the top schools I kind of got in right now is probably Ohio State, it's Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma, Boston College, and like Clemson. Yeah.
So you look at that, right? There's LSU, they don't have a head coach. Boston College, there's all these rumors about Jeff Hafley in Washington. There's all this stuff. It's crazy to me how much you guys have to deal with as you try to figure out your next move because you don't know what other people's moves are. That's got to be just absolutely maddening, kind of.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it definitely is because, you think they're going to stay there and then they end up leaving. So that might kind of, affect your decision a little bit.
What do you see timeline-wise to make a final decision? Because of all these changes, do you think this goes to signing day next year? Do you feel like you want to have this knocked out before you begin your senior season? How do you see it unfolding?
I'm still trying to figure out. I got kind of, my decision low key in my head. So I'm just trying to figure out, a date, when to announce it, or if I should just wait it out a little bit, then do it. But right now, I feel like it's going to come within the next couple of months, maybe even weeks.
So everyone should just be on alert.
Yeah, they better be on alert.
All right. I mean, that's the way it goes. In the world of college football recruiting, everything happens like that. Nobody knew Sonny Styles was going to commit, and then all of a sudden he, pops.
Yeah.
Way it works. I'm going to let you get out of here, Jonel. I really do appreciate you taking time, man. I know that, these weekends are busy. I know you were just at Boston College and probably just happy to be home and having a night to yourself. So thanks for taking time to join our show. That's Joenel Aguero.
Appreciate it.
No problem. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Birminology on Lettermen Row. Thanks for watching.